Hey guys, today's episode was actually inspired by a listener who posted a question in one of my Facebook groups about how do you say no to people without the feeling that you need to explain yourself and how to get out of that. So today, this episode is all about how to set healthy boundaries for yourself and how to say no without feeling guilty about it, because we get asked to do things all the time. And anytime people ask you to do things, it's really infringing on your own personal time, your own personal freedoms. So how do you say no to that without feeling guilty? If you've ever struggled with this, and most of us have, today's episode is just for you. So stick around, stay tuned. We're going to be talking about all things setting boundaries. Before we get started though, I just want to mention that if you are working out and you are really looking to get an edge on your workout, check out Honey Badger. Honey Badger promotes products that are vegan and keto friendly. They have lots of different products from protein powder to hydration powder. And I personally love using hydration powder after a workout because sweating and getting your workout in takes a lot out of you. And putting those electrolytes back into your body is super important. I also love using the protein. Protein is a great thing to do pre-workout so that you have more energy when you're actually working out. So if you're interested in any kind of protein powders, hydration supplements, or you really just want to take some other supplements to get your body healthy and going, check out Honey Badger. If you use the link that's in the show notes, you will get 20% off of your order. All right, welcome to today's episode, guys. My name is Melissa Oatman from melissaoatman.com. If you're new today, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So, setting healthy boundaries without feeling guilty. Saying no, meaning it, and not feeling bad about it. This is a really interesting topic. I used to be plagued with this for so long. As a reformed people pleaser, I hated to tell people no. I didn't like conflict, and I would try to avoid it at all costs. When someone would ask me if I could do something for them, I would just say, yeah, I would do it because I wouldn't want to hurt their feelings or make them feel bad. And if I wanted to say no to somebody, I always felt like I had to have a backup reason, like no, because. And then when I'm telling them why I can't do something, it sounds like I'm just making things up. Even if I really wasn't, it sounds like I'm just coming up with lies on the spot so I don't have to do what you want me to do. And that made me feel so uncomfortable and made me feel even worse about myself. What I learned was saying no is not a bad thing. No is not a negative word, but I, for some reason in my brain, always took no as a bad thing because I didn't want people to say no to me. So I took on this internalized thing that if I say no to somebody else, they're going to feel bad and they're not going to like me anymore and they're going to do this or they're going to do that. You know, you get into the overthinking about what could be. And the truth is, we don't really know what other people think when we say no. For a lot of people, if you say no to them, it's like, okay, no big deal. For other people, they'll try to manipulate you or guilt you into doing something. And that's really just because that's a selfish person who's looking out for their own best interest. You still don't have to feel bad or feel like you're being badgered into saying yes or making some sort of decision. So how do you do this? I'm going to talk to you today about how to really have a plan for saying no. And don't laugh because really, this is an important thing. If you have a hard time saying no and you have a hard time setting healthy boundaries for yourself, you really want to pay attention to a lot of these tips in today's episodes because they're really going to help you. So, how do you say no without feeling guilty? One of the first things that you can do is to gain a little bit of perspective. Start noticing how people around you say no to others and how those people respond. So if you're, paying attention, you'll overhear someone ask someone to do something and you'll overhear them say no. Watch how they handle the situations effectively because those are some cues that you can use to learn how other people do it. When you're polite and you're empathetic with people, most people are not going to get mad at you because you say no. Really, the only people who truly get mad at you when you say no are the people who don't respect anyone's boundaries. And that has nothing to do with you. That has everything to do with the type of person that person is. So if you want to do something to help you develop good boundaries, start looking around and noticing how other people do it. That kind of gives you a perspective of how other people are able to say no. And you've seen it. You're like, how did she just say no to that and not feel bad about it, and not question 50 times if that person's mad at her? You see it all the time. People say no, and they don't give a second thought to whether someone was mad at them or not. That's really where we want to get to, that place of saying no comfortably and without guilt. The other thing you have to think about is that saying no without guilt really requires you to understand who you are and what you stand for, because you really are eliminating unwanted obligations. So if your reasoning for saying no, for example, is that you want to spend the time that you have off of work enjoying your own time, whether you want to sit and watch TV, or you want to go for a hike, or you want to ride a bike, or you want to go to an art exhibit, whatever you want to do, that's your business. It's your personal time. And when you say yes to other people, when you want to say no, then you are taking your own time away from yourself. So you need to identify what your priorities are in life. Are your priorities to spend more time with your family? If so, then you may have to tell people no. This really comes in handy when we think about our jobs. A lot of people get asked to do things in their jobs that goes above and beyond what is really their duty. And sometimes it's okay to say yes if you want to, but there are times when you can say no. As a teacher in our profession, I can't tell you how many times we get asked to do things we don't get paid for, like showing up for events at school during the evening, when you should be with your family. And to do that once in a while, like for me personally, I'm okay with doing that every now and then, but I'm not going to say yes every time, because I have a personal life, I have family, and I choose to spend my time with my family, not at work 24/7. So that's a priority for me. So I have to set what my priorities are ahead of time, because then if something comes up like that where they say, can you stay late? And I know that my daughter's coming to have dinner with me, I will say, no, I can't. Sorry. And I'm not going to feel guilty about it, because my daughter's more important to me than you are. And I don't say that at all in a mean way. But again, it's learning how to say it politely and with empathy. You have to know what you want to set time aside for. So if time with your family is important, if money is important, that's important to know, because if your job, if all you're there for is to make money and you want to make as much as you can, and they say, can you work overtime? Then say yes to that. But if you have a family and that's your priority, say no if they're asking you to do more things. Also, someone might just be saying something unreasonable. They may be asking you to do something that's way out of line, like loaning you $5,000. Just say no. You've got to have a plan. So if you know what your priorities are, that's number one. It makes it easier to say no, because you know that you're saying no for a good reason. You're saying no because it represents giving yourself more time to do what you want to do, or more money if people are asking you for loans. Another thing that you can do is to remember that you don't have to respond immediately to people. In most cases, there is time for you to give an answer. So if you feel pressured right away for someone telling you, give me a yes, what you can do is take a break and just memorize a few key expressions that you can say to them that buys you a little bit more time until you can really fully get your head together and decide what you want to say. So the first thing you can say is, I need to check my calendar and get back to you. So if someone's saying, hey, can you do this on Thursday? And say, well, hold on, I need to check my calendar. I'm not really sure if I'm free or available that night. Let me check and get back to you. That's the first thing you could do. Or you can also, if you're married, say, hey, let me check with my husband or let me check with my wife to make sure we're free. And that can buy you some time too. Or you can say, I've got to think about that for a bit. I'll let you know. Or I'm going to have to call you back in a few minutes. Those are perfectly logical things to say to people. And again, if someone's in your face like, no, you need to tell me now, to me, that would immediately be no. Then no. If you're going to get in my face and make me feel bad or pressure me or whatever, that's an immediate no from me. And I don't feel bad about that because it makes me mad when someone pressures me and gets in my face, that is a clear violation of my boundaries. And I've set that for myself. So if someone's like being relentless about it, it's an automatic no from me, because I don't put up with that. So don't do that to me. Okay, so that's the first thing. But you can buy more time if you need to. So again, just say, let me check my calendar. I'll get back to you. Let me check with my husband or my wife. Let me think about that. I'll let you know. Or let me call you back in a few minutes. I'm in the middle of something. That's a good one. I'm in the middle of something. Can I think about that and get back to you? Or can I call you back in a few minutes? Don't turn them into questions either, though. Say it as if it's a statement, like, I'm going to have to call you back. And then that buys you some time to really think about if it's something you want to do or not. Chances are, if you're a people pleaser, you already know you don't want to do it. You're just trying to buy yourself more time. But what this can do is can buy you some time to say what you're going to say to that person and do it with conviction. So it doesn't come out as a question. It comes out as a statement of, I can't. No, I'm sorry. Okay? Have a policy for yourself. If you have a policy that, no, I don't lend people money, or I make sure my weekends are reserved for my family, or I always make sure I'm home by dinner time so I can eat dinner with my family. If you create those kind of policies for yourself, when someone says to you then, like let's say someone says, can I borrow $500? You'll say, I'm sorry, I make it a habit never to lend money to people. It doesn't matter what it is, I just don't do that. That's your personal policy, and it's a conviction, so people are less likely to start begging you. And why, if you say it with confidence, like, I'm sorry, I just don't do that. Or if someone says to you, can you work overtime? I'm sorry, I make it a policy never to work overtime because I need to spend more time with my family. I'm not home enough as it is. You make it some sort of personal policy. And that's why looking at your priorities is so important, because you're going to make your personal policies according to your priorities. And really think about this. Think about all of the times you've said yes in your life when you really wanted to say no. When was that? What were they asking for? And if you can set a personal policy for that, that's going to make things a lot easier for you. So if someone says, hey, I'm going to move on Friday, can you help me out? And maybe that's what you keep getting asked to do and you hate it. You don't want to do it anymore. Say, you know what? I'm sorry. I make it a personal policy not to help people move. I know that sounds like you're being rude, but if you make it a policy, or change it up. Say, I make it a personal policy on Fridays to spend time with my daughters and we've got plans. And you don't have to explain any farther than that. I think where we get into trouble is when we go digging into this hole of, I've got to explain all of my motives for telling you no. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. You don't even have to say anything other than no. Just no. But if you feel the need to give an explanation, have that personal policy ready to go. I'm sorry, Friday nights is whenever I take my dog to the park and he loves it and we're busy. I already made this plan and I plan to meet up with a friend. Can't do it. Whatever. Make up what feels comfortable and good to say for you and practice it. Practice saying it to yourself so that you say it not as a question. No, I don't think so. Instead, make it a statement. No, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And make sure that, again, you are persistent by saying no. Be a broken record if someone's trying to keep asking you. So this is the thing. Most people, if you say no once, they'll say, okay, yeah, I get it, and they won't ask you again. But there are some people who don't get the hint, they don't take social cues, and they'll keep asking you over and over again. Being a teacher, students do this all the time. Like, can I go to the bathroom? 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 It's like a broken record. Because no to them, you say wait, and then they wait a second and ask again. You have to be very direct and specific. Wait 20 minutes. Wait until 5 minutes before the bell rings, because otherwise every minute you'll get asked the same question. So you have to be a broken record yourself with what you say. So if someone said to you like, hey, could you help me bury this body? You'd say no, right? You'd say, sorry, I can't do that. When they say, well, what if we do it tomorrow? Can you help me bury them tomorrow? You're going to say, no, I can't help you tomorrow. Well, what if I lend you the shovel and I drive the getaway car and we go, no, I'm not going to help you. No. So be a broken record. You can say the same thing over again. Sorry, I can't. Sorry, I can't. Just keep saying it. Most people will respect that boundary. You will come across people who don't. And when you do, set that healthy boundary. No, and you could do like you do with the students. No, and please don't ask again. And you don't have to be angry or raise your voice. Just calmly repeat yourself until they get the message. And it might take a little while because some people are very stubborn. But keep repeating yourself and be very, very consistent with your message. Broken record is very powerful. And let me give you another example. Something I hate so much is going car shopping. I hate it with a passion. I like getting a new car, but I hate the whole process. And it feels like as soon as you step onto the lot, vultures come out. And no offense to any car dealers out there, but that's what it feels like as a customer. They just leap out at you like, what can I help you with? And then when you sit down at the bargaining table and you're like, no, and really, no, I'm not going to pay any more than this. But what if? But what if? They just keep coming back at you and they're like, well, you have to decide this today or this price won't be here tomorrow. My manager said, if you say yes to this deal, he'll give it to you right now. But if you don't do it right now, this is gone tomorrow. Don't let that pressure you. That's such a lie, first of all. They lie so much. It's a lie. It's a scheme. It's a sales technique to say that you only have 24 hours or you have 5 minutes to get this deal. Don't let someone pressure you into doing something quickly and to responding quickly, giving them an immediate yes. Just in a steady voice, no, I'm sorry. I have to think about it. No, I'm not saying yes today. I need time to think about it. And with a car, it's a really convenient thing to say, no, I have to go talk it over with my spouse. No, I have to go check my finances. I don't know that I can afford this. They will be relentless in trying to get you to say yes because they've been taught how to do that. The broken record technique is really powerful with salespeople, just saying no, no, no. It's not a personal relationship, even though they want to try to make it personal by telling you all their life story when you meet them so you feel bad saying no. And that's why they do that because, if you're a people pleaser, you're going to have a harder time saying no. Don't get close. Just be, not cold, but very matter of fact. No, thank you. No, I have to go and look at my finances. I need to go discuss this with someone else. I can't say no right now, or I can't say yes right now. Just a broken record. Keep repeating it. That really does help. So the other thing is to really talk about what it would cost for you to help someone else out. So for example, let's say you are a teacher and they ask you, can you teach an extra class, this year? And you can say, I'm sorry, but my students are my top priority. And if you add one more class to my class load, I won't be able to give them as much of my attention as possible. And I won't be as great a teacher for them. And I don't want to do that. So make it very relational to you. If I help you out, I would be letting down my students. Or if I go and I help you move on Saturday, I would be missing my son's basketball game and I can't do that. I don't want to let him down. So make it relational to how it's going to affect you if you say yes to someone else. Or I can't loan you money because I have to pay for my kids' college. I don't have it in the first place. And, I'd be letting them down if I gave away money that I could be using for their college. So whatever it is you need to do. The other thing is when charities call you and they want you to make a donation, and they'll say, can you donate $250? You can also make a counteroffer. You could say, no, I can't donate $250. I can donate $10. If you'd like $10, I'll donate that. Nobody's going to say, oh, no, you cheapskate, $10. If it's really a true charity, they're going to be happy to get your money. So Don't feel like if someone offers something that you have to say yes to that offer. You can make a counter offer too. Like if someone says, can you help me move? You could say, you know what, I can come by for a half an hour and I'll help you as much as I can in a half hour, but I've got a busy day and I've got other stuff I need to do too. I've done that before, and then you don't feel super bad for not helping out a friend, but you also don't tie up your whole day. That's a great technique because everybody wins in that situation. You're still helping them out a little bit, but you're not giving up totally of, what you wanted. Same thing like with the car. You could say, you know what, I'm not buying it right this second, but I can come back tomorrow. If I come back tomorrow and we make an appointment and I promise you that I will come back tomorrow, can we hold this deal or whatever, So then it gets you out of the having to say yes right away. It buys you a little bit more time. So to sum up what you can do to get better at saying no and not feeling guilty about it is number one, notice all of the no's that are around you. You'll see that when other people say no, it rarely leads to a duel outside. There's no blood loss. A lot of people say no. It's more common than you think, and it's a lot less risky than you think it is. There are a lot of people out there who say no to people every day. They don't feel guilty about it, and nothing bad happens to them. So notice where people are saying no around you and how they respond. Also, buy yourself some time. You can say, I'm not really sure right now. Can I get back to you? Or let me check my calendar and get back to you. Let me check with my wife or my husband or my kids and get back to you. Buy yourself some time so that you don't feel pressured into saying yes right away. Have a policy for yourself. I'm sorry, but I always make it a policy never to be away from my kids for longer than 2 hours. Or, I'm sorry, I make it a policy never to work on the weekends because that's family time. Be a broken record. Keep repeating yourself. No, I'm sorry, I can't. No, I'm sorry, I can't. No, I'm sorry, I can't. Be a broken record. Also, relate how you are not going to be able to do this because it's going to affect you in some way. Like, if I take on that extra class, I'm not going to be as great a teacher to my other students and it's not fair to them. Make a counter offer. I'm sorry that I cannot donate $500, but I can donate $5 to you. I'm sorry that I can't volunteer to work the food pantry for the whole day, but I can come for a half hour. Make your counter offer. And again, I love that one the most because then you're still kind of helping people, but you're not giving up your whole day. You're not giving up all your money. You're not giving up everything. But don't feel like you have to do that and make a counteroffer if the answer is no. If you don't want to do it at all, if someone says, can you volunteer, and you don't want to at all, just say no and don't feel guilty about it. Just say, no, I'm sorry. My calendar's pretty full that day. I can't. Maybe next time if you want to next time. But if you don't say that. Don't feel like you have to say that. Just, I'm sorry, I can't. My calendar's pretty full. And that's all you have to say. And again, I think the biggest thing here is noticing that other people say no, they don't feel bad about it, and no one hates them for the rest of their lives. And when you start learning how to say no and feeling better, you're going to have people realize where your boundaries are, and they're going to stop asking you as much. And that's not a bad thing. It's not bad at all. It teaches them, hey, I'm not going to go to this person every time because she's always the nice one who always says yes. Now they'll say, well, let's not go to her first. She's not going to say yes. Then that takes the pressure off of you. So don't feel bad about saying no to people, because when you say no to people, you're really saying yes to you and to all the things that you want to do. Think about this. How many of you, when a salesperson calls you on the phone and immediately you pick it up and you say hello and you hear, hi, this is Sherry from your car manufacturing warranty, click, right? They can't even get out their whole name and title and you've already hung up the phone. And you didn't feel guilty about it because you don't see the person, you don't deal with the person. It's the same kind of thing. The only issue is that because you know the person, you're assigning this emotional attachment to it. Imagine if the person, your friend, was asking you to do a favor for them, that you were talking to Sherry, your car warranty person. How would you treat them then? It wouldn't be the same way. You wouldn't care if Sherry got her feelings hurt. You'd be like, I don't even know who Sherry is. Who cares? But you kind of have to think of it in the same way. Stop the overthinking and the guilt part about people asking you to do something and you saying no. It will take practice, but you can do it. And the more you do it, the better you will get at it. And the more you do it and the better you get at it, the less people will ask you for favors because they know that you have boundaries. When we set our boundaries and we tell people no, we're actually telling them how we want to be treated. And if people don't see you as a doormat, if they don't see you as the person who will always say yes to everything, then they'll stop asking because they know it's not going to be as easy as it was before. They'll move on to the next doormat and everything will be fine. So I hope this was helpful for you. And believe me, I do not sit here and tell you all of these tips because I know nothing about it. I had a hard time saying no, and every once in a while I still do if it's certain people. But I have come to learn that my own sanity is far more important than anyone else's feelings. And that's the truth, the absolute truth. So I hope that you will learn to start saying no to others and start saying yes to your own inner child and learning how to play. And speaking of that, I pulled a card for you today. And the card I pulled is from the Daily Guidance from Your Angels deck by Doreen Virtue. And the card is play. It says, Beloved one, it's time to set aside work for a while. Don't worry, we will oversee your responsibilities to their completion. Playfulness, gaiety, and laughter will lift your energy so that you'll return to work with a renewed perspective and heightened energy. I love that. And the more you say no to people, the more time you have to go and play. So go play today. Do something fun. Do something that honors your inner child. All right, guys, I hope that you are having a beautiful day today. Don't forget, if you like this podcast, please subscribe. Please leave a positive review from wherever you're listening. That helps my podcast get out there. And the more people listen, the better my mission in life is to help people heal, and the better that helps me to complete that. So thank you for doing that. Share it with those who need it. Don't forget to follow me on social media. I go live Mondays at 6:30 Central on Facebook, where I do a free card reading. If you show up for the live, I'll pull a card especially for you. And you can work with me. I offer Reiki, readings, past life regression, and one-on-one coaching. And in the coaching sessions, I can help you with so many things. If you want to lose weight without starving yourself, without going on a diet, I can help you with that. If you want to build your self-confidence so that you can go after your dream job, find the perfect partner, just live a happier life, I can help you with that. If you are looking to attract more money, maybe you have money stories and you're in debt all the time and you're bad with money, I can help you with that too. Whatever you want to do, you can book a free discovery call with me. Just go to my website, melissaoatman.com, click on the Book a Free Discovery Call tab. All the times are in the Central Time Zone. That's the time zone I'm in. Schedule your time, and then we'll jump on a Zoom call and talk about what I can do to best serve you. I hope that you guys are having a beautiful day as always, and I am sending you so much love and light. I will talk to you guys soon.